Oh, Leslie, karma is truly a bitch, but she can be beautiful at times. And I think, in all fairness, she's beautiful because she's doing the right thing by slapping your ass in the face for all the dumb, disgusting shit you did to women. You threw away your whole career and success for being a habitual serial sexual violator towards women when you had a wife at home and all you had to do if you wanted to cheat was cheat outside of the workplace. But it goes to show that even the most successful of men can still do some dumb, idiotic shit. Hey guys, this is your girl, Miss Ellen Nicole. And like I said, I was going to come back anyway to give you another story that I saw on YouTube today. You know, this is the gift that keeps on giving with Les Moonves. First, Les Moonves gets accused of being a sexual predator on a job. Then he steps down. Then his wife is alleged to have stepped down. Then she quits the talk, and then she steps down. And with all this going on, all of these stories about them kept giving my channel a lot of views, and it grew my channel. So I just want to thank both Les Moonves and Julie Chen for doing these things, because if it wasn't for them, my channel would not have been successful. So I want to give a round of applause first and foremost to them. Let's keep it real. Yes. Thank you guys. Cause to me, y'all the dumbest couple of the year in all fairness. Y'all are really dumb. But let's keep moving and let's talk about this article that CNN posted this morning about Les Moonves. So it reads, ex-CBS chief Les Moonves will not get the $20 million severance package. Ousted CBS chief executive Les Moonves will not receive any severance pay from the company, the board of directors said Monday evening. The board members said they had concluded that they had ample reasons to fire Moonves, thus denying him severance. Under the terms of enormously generous employment contract, Moonves was eligible to receive as much as $140 million upon his exit. When he was forced out in September amidst sexual harassment and assault allegations, $20 million was set aside for grants, and the remaining $120 million was set up in a trust. The $120 million has been in a holding pattern for months while the CBS board awaited findings from two law firms that were hired to investigate the allegations against Moonves. The law firms interviewed many of the women who had accused Moonves of sexual misconduct. The firms Covington and Berlin Debbie Vos and Plimpton also looked into allegations against other individuals at the media company. The New York Times obtained a draft version of the lawyer's report and said it included multiple examples of both sexual misconduct and corporate misconduct. CBS board members met last week for the company's annual meeting. They did not announce anything about Moonves at that time, but on Monday evening they said in a statement that the wide-ranging investigation into Moonves, CBS News, and the cultural issues at CBS is now complete. With regards to Mr. Moonves, we have determined that there are grounds to terminate for cause, including his willful and material misfeasance, violation of company policies, and breach of his employment contract, as well as his willful failure to cooperate fully with the company's investigation. Mr. Moonves will not receive any severance payment from the company, the board said in a statement. Okay, let me pause for a second. An attorney for Moonves, Andrew Lavender, responded by saying that the baseless conclusion of the board were foreordained and are without merit. Shut up. Notably, however, he did not signal that Moonves would take any further legal action to fight for this $120 million. In a statement, Lavender assailed the leaks to the Times and said the press reports further damaged Moonves' name, reputation, career, and legacy. He said Mr. Moonves vehemently denied any non-consensual sexual relations, and cooperated extensively and fully with investigators. Moonves is one of the most celebrated executives in Hollywood history, and he was accused of misconduct by numerous women in a pair of stories by the New Yorker's Ronan Farrow over the summer. Now, if you remember, Ronan Farrow, he was going after everybody. He wasn't just going after Moonves, but most of the people he was going after were white men. And I'm going to get to that a little bit because I got my theory on that too. But his first story about Les Moonves' sexual proclivities included 6 women, and some of them were named, and they had alleged harassment and other misconduct by Moonves and connected it to a deeper problem at the company. Now, some of the women claimed that it went back several decades, and Moonves, he did acknowledge making mistakes in his past, but he said that he never abused his power. Now, in the second story, the accusations were more serious, and it included multiple allegations of either physical force or coerced oral sex. So basically, you could say that it was like, I'm going to keep it real. It's like a way of saying sexual assault. And when that story came out on that Sunday morning, because I remember this, by that night, Sunday night, Moonves was gone from CBS. Now, if you remember back, that was in September, even more stories came out. And by the time the report hit in November, it stated, according to the Times, that Moonves himself destroyed evidence and misled investigators in an attempt to preserve his reputation and save a lucrative severance package. Citing the draft version of the report put together by 2 law firms tasked with investigating the allegations, this contradicts the claims from Moonves' camp that he cooperated extensively and fully with the investigators. And though Moonves has denied having any non-consensual sexual encounters, the report by the law firms, as quoted by the Times, said Moonves engaged in multiple acts of serious non-consensual sexual misconduct in and outside of the workplace, both before and after he joined CBS in 1995. Now, CBS did not release the law firm's report publicly on Monday, and some advocacy groups have called on the network to be transparent about the findings. In Monday's statement, the board described the findings in just a few sentences. It says, the firms concluded that harassment and retaliation are not pervasive at CBS. However, the investigators learned of the past incidents of improper interprofessional misconduct and concluded that the company's historical policies, practices, and structures have not reflected a high institutional priority on preventing harassment and retaliation. And I will say also that that they're trying, according to the board members, they have already begun to take robust steps to improve the working environment for all employees. Now I'm going to go in because I got a whole lot to say. For starters, if you're familiar with CBS as a network, CBS is what you would call an old boys network. Not just a boys network, an old boys network. And not just with age, but with culture. They are pro-men. And now I'm not a feminist, but I'm going to keep it real. They're pro-men and they're pro-white men. They look out for each other. What Les Moonves was doing at CBS, according to their culture, to keep it fair with the harassment of women cheating on the job, is something that for years was acceptable. Because it shows in the weird scheme of a man's mind of that type of thinking. It's like the more women I have and the more women I screw on a job, I am more powerful. Even if I'm not the leader on the job. But people will look up to me, and a lot of men want to be like me because I can get a woman to get on her knees, to get on her back, to open her mouth, just like that. Let's keep it real. Now, what crossed the line was the sexual coercion, forcing women to do it. Now, that's a problem because now we're talking about assault. We're talking about something that's criminal. But to have a whole lot of affairs on the job with like 100 women, if they are consensual, I'm going to keep it real. You don't need to fire a man for something of having a lot of affairs on the job if that's not a clause if that's not a clause that's prohibited from occurring on the job. If you have a clause on the job and it says that you cannot cheat on the job and you cannot have affairs on the job, you cannot sleep with most people on the job, and you do it, you deserve to be fired. But if that's not in the clause and you're sleeping with 100 bunch of women, even though morally it's not right if you're married, but if it's not in the clause in your job contract, I don't think a man should be fired. And I don't think a woman should be fired. I'm going to keep it real. Do I think it's nasty? Yeah, I do. But do I think she should be fired? No. Now, do I think Les Moonves deserves to be fired? Hell yeah. That dude was a predator. That dude was doing some sick ass shit. That dude is scary. I would never want that dude around my girls. And I don't even have children, okay? The only thing I have is a female cat in my house. That's it. I don't trust that man with a 10-foot pole. I'm going to keep it real. And I'm going to keep it even extra real. I wouldn't be surprised if Julie Chen was one of those women that he was sleeping with to get to the top, so that she can get to the top to get what she wants. That's why she's being quiet. That's why she's standing by her man like she's been saying. Now, let's go into the severance package. He's not getting the severance package, not because he cheated on the job, not because he had sex with a whole bunch of women, not even so much because he committed those acts of coercion and forcible oral sex on the job. He is being denied the severance package because he destroyed evidence and he interfered in an investigation. Okay? That is why they're not giving it to him. Okay? Because if that did not occur, he probably wouldn't have got the $120, but he probably would have gotten, I would say, maybe $70 million. But the $120 million, he wasn't going to get. But he ain't getting not even $1. They are done with him. He is done. He is a pariah in the industry. And I just want to say something to Ronan Farrow. Dear Ronan Farrow, I know that you're doing this and you're thinking that you did a good deed. But you must be careful. And I'm going to say this directly to you. Ronan, you're friends with Megyn Kelly. And Megyn Kelly was part of this whole Me Too movement. And I believe that you, in some weird way of thinking, feel as though you are the savior for women. I believe that you're doing this because of the fact that your father, your alleged father, Woody Allen, has said to have molested your sister. And I also think you're doing it because many people have been saying that Frank Sinatra is your real daddy. So I think you got some daddy issues there. And I think you don't really like men. I really think you hate men. Now, am I glad that you broke the story on him? Yeah. I'm glad you did it on him because he deserved it. Because what him and his wife did to Bill Cosby's legacy was disgusting. And this man destroyed Janet Jackson's career. She was on the top. And then he helped to take her down. Or because she wouldn't say sorry. And I think it's so beautiful that Janet Jackson will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the week that it was announced about her being inducted is the week that they said that his severance package would be denied. And I think it's beautiful. And karma is a beautiful bitch. And on that note, this is your girl, Miss Sound a Little Cold. I'm signing off. I'm going to head out to work right now. But I'm going to really, really, really try to give you another video before the day is over. I'll talk to y'all soon. Take care and share this video. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. Like the video. And I will talk to you soon.